Hello all you beautiful people, and welcome to the last update for Relics that we will have before Leagues officially starts tomorrow. This will most likely be all the information will be given, as the dev team wanted people to really explore Leagues and have fun with it this year instead of trying to focus on being super efficient, especially since Dragon Tier will be a static point total and not based off of being in the top 1%. Let me know what your favorite relic is based off the ones we've seen so far, and before we start looking at everything that was announced today during the live stream, if you end up enjoying today's video, think about supporting the channel by hitting the like button, subscribe button, or turning on the bell notification icon. Alright, so the most important piece of information we were given today through the live stream is that there are actually going to be 8 tiers and not 7, and that the relics that have been in past leagues have all received some sort of change or upgrade, except for Endless Harvest. The dev team explained why they went with 8 relics over 7, and said it had to do with making sure that the power level of choosing between certain relics felt relevant. And to be honest, based off a quick overview of the relics in their respective tiers, I think they have done a great job with this. I will briefly touch on tier 1, the relics we can pick from at the beginning. I went over these in the previous video, so I won't explain these in depth, but if you want to read what each one does, you can pause the video for each one, as I will post a screenshot. We have the Production Prodigy relic, the Trickster relic, and the Endless Harvest relic. And then for tier 2, this tier only has 2 relics. I've already discussed the Globetrotter relic, so I'll post a screenshot if you want to read more in depth as to what it does, but basically we get a unique necklace that allows players to teleport to any location through jewelry or spellbook, as long as that player has access to those areas. The new one we learned about in tier 2 today is the Fairies Flight relic. This is a relic that will give players a unique teleport item that allows teleporting to any fairy ring, tree spirit, or tool leprechaun, provided the player has unlocked those areas. This was in the previous Trailblazer League before, but it did not include the Leprechaun teleport locations, so I really do like this addition in this league. This relic feels a lot more powerful than the one they had in the past. I'm going to be honest, I believe the first tier of combat relics were going to be in tier 3, but I was wrong. Instead, we have the Banker's Note relic and the Fire Sale relic. I've went over these in previous videos, so I'll post a screenshot if you want to read them, but essentially the Banker's Note relic gives the player an item where they can note or unnote items from the comfort of their own inventory. And the Fire Sale relic allows players to buy items from any shop that has a stock of 1 or higher, as long as the currency to buy the item is coins, and they can buy these items for free. The items are also bot noted. To be honest, I think a lot of people will take the Banker's Note relic. I know I will be. It seems like it has the most power and synergy throughout all of RuneScape. I do want to note that the dev team did state the relic tiers will be slightly easier to obtain early on, and stated to not worry about the combat relics being in tier 4. Tier 4 is where we will see the combat relics in this league at the beginning, which I've went over in a previous video, so I will slap up screenshots now if you want to read them in depth. But essentially, the Ranger relic has loads of benefits to using range weapons, including chins this year. The Melee relic has a lot of utility this year, including being immune to poison, venom, and fire breath attacks. And the Mage relic has a lot of utility as well by giving the players a rune pouch which can hold 2 additional runes, and the Arcane Grimoire. I'll personally be going with the Range relic, but let me know what combat style you all plan on going. Tier 5 we have 3 different relics, and we will start with the Treasure Seeker relic, which was in the previous Trailblazer League and included the following benefits. NPCs that drop clue scrolls will have their drop chance at a flat 1 in 20. Clue geodes, nests, and bottles will be found 10 times more likely. All clues that have not been started are stackable. All clue tiers will have the lowest number of steps possible for each tier. Now, as I previously stated, the dev team did say they reworked some of these, so I can see some additional benefits, such as all clues will have 1 additional roll. Something like that I think would be a great fit for leagues. We also have the Bloodthirsty relic in this tier. We don't really know anything about this relic at the moment, but I would assume based off of its name this is combat related. The other relic in this tier is the Infernal Gatherer relic, which I hypothesized would make its return this league. In the past Trailblazer League, this relic gave players a Trailblazer axe, which caused any log to be chopped to be burned automatically, and gave fire making experience even if you didn't have the level to burn that log. It also gave a Trailblazer pickaxe, which would cause ore you would mine to be smelted into a bar instead, regardless of if you had the level to smelt it. And the last tool this relic gave the player was a Trailblazer harpoon, which would automatically cook raw fish a player would gather, regardless of the player's cooking level. It is important to note that all of these tools had to be equipped in order for this effect to use. I'm unsure of what tweaks could have been made to this relic, other than maybe being able to toggle on or off the option for auto-processing the raw materials. In Tier 6, we have 3 relics again. We have the Ruinous Powers relic, which unlocks the Ruinous Powers prayer book that eventually got scrapped from the main game. There are a lot of powerful prayers here, and I went over those in my last video, so check that out if you want a more detailed overview. These prayers are heavily geared towards powering through combat tasks, so I can see a lot of people taking this. We also have the Equilibrium Relic, which was from the previous Trailblazer League. In the previous league, this relic gave a flat 10% experience boost to all experience gained, and additional experience given by this relic was not multiplied by the league's multiplier experience. I'm going to assume that this league we might see that experience affected by the league multiplier, as this relic did not feel too powerful in the last league. The last relic in this league will be the Farmer's Fortune. While this is a new relic, I think it might pull some aspects from the Botanist relic that we had from the last Trailblazer League. This relic caused farming ticks to occur every minute instead of every 5 minutes, and provided players with double their resources harvested from farming. I can see these aspects making a return, along with the possibility of making crops immune to disease if a player picks this relic. In Tier 7, we have 3 relics again. We will start with the Weapon Master relic since I previously went over this. This relic gives special attacks 100% accuracy and allows players to sacrifice hit points for additional special attacks. I do believe this will have various uses for bossing and raiding, so I can see people picking up this relic. Another relic in this tier is the Soul Eater relic. It's currently unknown as to what it does, but based off the artwork, I could see this relic restoring hit points or prayer points upon killing a creature, or providing combat buffs based on how many creatures a player has killed within a certain amount of time. The last relic in this tier is the Berserker relic. To be honest, I'm not quite sure what this relic could do other than sacrificing the player's defense attributes to increase their offensive attributes, which will make it a solid relic for people who want to maximize DPS in all situations. The last tier we have available to us in this league is Tier 8, and there are 3 relics in this tier as well. I've already touched on the Guardian and Undying Retribution relic in past videos, but we will touch on them here so we can compare them to the Executioner relic. The Undying Retribution causes a player to be revived upon death and deal a massive amount of damage to nearby opponents when resurrected. I think this relic will definitely have uses with bossing and raiding. The Guardian relic provides players with a unique horn that summons a powerful Guardian. The Guardian has a hit accuracy roll of 45,000, meaning it should almost never miss, and has a max hit of 15. It can be summoned almost anywhere in RuneScape, including the Gauntlet, and the summon has no cooldown timer and can be used as often as desired. This on the surface seems like the most powerful relic in this tier, but I can see people taking the Executioner relic. The Executioner relic gives players an axe that will deal killing blows to an enemy with less than 20% HP. Damage calculations will most likely be done to compare this with the Guardian relic, but I can see people picking this relic that don't want to deal with the final phases of raids or bosses. And that wraps it up for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching, and let me know if you have any questions. Special shout out to my channel members Tom and Father Duo. Thank you all so much for your continued support, and I will see all of you beautiful people tomorrow in Leagues.